Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to TRG Central. This is episode 5 of the 2023 Road to the Triple Crown series. This episode will be covering the 2 heat races for our Kentucky Derby and then the final, and we'll also be covering the final of the Kentucky Oaks. The Kentucky Derby heat race will have 10 horses in each race. The top 10 horses by uh, time will advance to the final. For the Oaks, we should took the top 10 fillies that are in our top 20 that you can see on the screen now. So just a little bit of info on how we did that in the export utility, and you see it'll export 40. Now, the reason why I can do that is we'll go and take a look at the reports real quick, and the parameters. And you see up here, parameter 8 is a parameter that tells the game the number of horses to export. Same thing with the top horses list. That's why it says 20 here instead of the default 10. So when you're on the TRG folder, you'll see the parameters INI file. You open it with any type of text editor, go in, and if this line is not in your INI file, just add it and put a number in parentheses for either the top horses list or the top horses export. So that's how you get more horses to be displayed on the top horses list here, and when you do the export. So we'll just export it just to show you all the horses that were available. So, hey, just finished exporting them. If you run over to the TRG folder, you can see there's the parameters table there. That's what we would modify. Here, I'll click it and just show you. And see, here's my top 40 for export and 20 for the web. And then you go over to the game logs, and there's the 2023 top horses. So I said it's a text file. You can open it with either Notepad or WordPad or any other text file you happen to have. Text Notepad, there it opens for you, and as you can see, it has the top 40. So what we did, I'll put this off to the side for a second, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the schedule. I've already loaded the schedules, so we're ready to run them, but we'll just go over them right now. As you can see, we're not going to run a Kentucky Oaks heat race 1 or 2, so we just skipped it and then locked it. So when we run the next scheduled race, it'll just bypass it. So the 2 that we're looking to run here for the heat races, heat race 1 and 2. Both of the fields I've locked already. And if you notice here, the post position button is gone on both of them. When you do use the post positions, it's only to do the drawing. You may only do that once per race. Once you did that, that locks out redrawing the post positions. So I already did that, like when I was building the field. Horse 1 would go in heat race 1, horse 2 would go in 2, then 3 would go into heat race 1, 4 would go into 2, and so forth. So all the odd numbered horses would go into heat race 1, and even number horses in heat race 2 for the most part. But then you have to weed out the Kentucky Oaks horse like Wonder Wheel and Tell Me No, and Who's a Filly, and I think Sacred Witch, and maybe even Capitella are all all fillies and they're entered in the Kentucky Oaks. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Kentucky Derby. Move this thing over a little bit so you can see how Angel Empire is in this race here, and Skinner will be in the other race, not here. Classic cars in this one. So it's every other horse goes into heat race, and then the horses that were skipped will go into heat race 2. As you see, Angel Empire would have been, I entered it first, and you can see when I drew the post position, Angel Empire ended up with 8. So that's that one. And we can go over and view the heat race 2, and you see there's Skinners there, and verifying drew the first post position. And you can take a look at it's kind of interesting because it's been noted for the real life Kentucky Derby that there's a couple horses by Todd Fletcher in this particular case. He had 2 here, and I think he also had 1 in heat race 2. So he actually has 3 horses entered in our prep races in Kentucky Derby heat race. And also you'll notice that Brad Cox has a couple horses here. And if you go over to heat race 2, you'll find out the same thing. There's another, Brad Cox has 2 more, Sappy has a couple, and Colfer also has 2. So it's kind of interesting, probably close to half the horses are trained by just a handful of trainers. So I think that's it for that. I'm wondering if we can do anything else before we start the races. And as you see, since Kentucky Oaks heat 1 would skip, it doesn't pick up that race as the first race. It picks up the Kentucky Derby heat. You know, here, there's your odds. You see Angel Empire, Fort, and Practical Move are your favorites. Remember the top 10 horses total with the best times. We'll move on to the finals. We've already done the post position, so there's no need to do that again. And just a little information about the heat race. It's 10 furlong. First year is only 30,000 since that's not the main event. And you have in the back edition of South and all the horses that carry 126 pounds. Let's go ahead and start the race. And we'll go over the horses, take a quick look at the cards. Here, Rocket Rod, Practical Move, Mage, Rocket Can, whoops. So let's do 6 here. There we go. Classic Car Wash, Major Dude, Angel Empire, Disarm, and Instant Coffee. The other thing you can do is come up to reports and review the tough part, and there's also a movement chart And then if you need to know if you were running the game manually, there is a bunch of hotkeys that tells you, gives you little shortcuts for running the race manually. And you can put the horse card all about your screen if you'd like to. If you're doing it manually, that's a nice advantage that you can see the actual numbers and how the horses get their forward and sideways movement points. Okay, let's take a look at the regulator. It's already set to 5. I think that's good. Let's go ahead and guess we're ready to run the race. Okay. Officials at the Stewart Tower announced horse through the starting gate. So it looks like we're ready to go, and they're off. And the horse 7, Major Dude, gets out of the gate first, but we have Forte and Major Dude going into the first turn. And Major Dude has a major lead, but Practical Move caught up. They're neck and neck in the back straight. Going into the far clubhouse turn, it's Practical Move, and let's see, Angel Empire and Major Dude. And it looks like Angel Empire comes from behind and wins on the last game turn. Okay, Angel Empire is first, Practical Move second, and Major Dude third. So I'm going to kind of jot down these numbers. We can view them later on in the results report, but we'll just jot them down here real quick. Okay, classical move 202.6, maybe 203. 203. 2 seconds, 203.6. Coffee 204.4. Mage 204.4. Disarm 204.6. Rocket Can 204.6. And Forte 205, that is not what we were expecting from him. And Classic Car Wash 205.2. So just looking at these time, I'm going to say that there's an excellent chance of Forte is not going to make it to the finals. I'd say at least the top 5 will probably make it. At least all the ones that have ran in 203 will make it. Well, anyway, that's enough with that. There's one other thing I wanted to show you. See if this will work. Let's take a quick look at the edit field. Okay, this is the next one. Now, if you actually ever wanted to see their past performances, you can always do it individually by clicking on like verify. Verify shows up. Right click and you get the past performances. So you can see how verifying has done throughout our prep races. And the order is newest first, oldest race last. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll lock that and we'll get to the second heat race. Oh, too, this is the one thing I wanted to really show you. Before you get to the racetrack, you can view all the past performances at once. Should have did that for the last race, but I just completely forgot where the option was. But anyway, clicking on the option, there you go. There are all 10 of your horses and their past performances. Of course, this doesn't have the detail that individual horse past performances will give you, but it does give you a little bit of information uh, about the horse. And just to clarify, Martin Garcia should be the jockey. Yeah, it's the jockey that rides the horse in the race. And you see it again. There's the 4 horse races that verifying competed in, and you can see here he was 5th in the Toya Blue Route. The one, this one here is one of the heat races, and he managed to be 3rd there, so he's going to advance to the final. Same here in the Rumble Stakes. He was 4th in the heat race, but then he won the Rumble Stakes race. You can tell right here on how well he did at his line. So he's run 4 races, won 1, came in 3rd, out of the money 2, and won $600,000. We did that for each of the horses. You see some of the horses here. It was Raising Cane also ran the Toyota, so did Scooby Kwan. And look at Lord Miles. He actually was in 5 races. So anyway, that's a little concise display of all the horses' past performances in a given race. Let's take a look, and here you can see that this race seems to be much more competitive as far as the morning line is concerned. And you have Tip It Twice seems to be the favorite, and then you have quite a few horses right behind, like Lord Miles and Two Phil and Hit Show, along with Verifying. All of those seem to be the second tier of the pack. Any one of them, as you found out from the first race, can come up and win will be very competitive. And then you have a few horses that maybe one of them will be competitive in the race, maybe not. I think we're ready to go ahead and go to the Churchill Downs racetrack. And again, we'll just take a look at the horses. Yeah, Verifying, Skinner, Raised Cane, Hit Show. Yeah. Harley Arrogant and Hit Show. We'll get this right. 6 is Scooby Quanto. 7 is Two Phils. Mr. Ripple. Position 8. 9 is Tap It Twice. And 10th is Lord Miles. Okay, so you have all the horses. You saw their past performances. So let's go ahead and get into spectator mode and we'll start the race. Officials in the Stewart Tower gives the okay. And let's see, we have Lord Miles coming out of the gate first. That could help him immensely if he happens to roll a very good result and is able to get maybe a 9 to 10 paces on his forward movement to get him out here, maybe be able to get down into lane 5 or 6, and then maybe have a chance at being at the head of the pack instead of behind. So I think we're ready, and they're off. And you see how Lord Miles did get out in front. He's actually first one to get into the turn, but he got passed up by two fields and tap it twice. And tap it twice and two fields, and tap it twice, and pretty close to head going into the home stretch. And tap it twice gets a little lead, but Hit Show came up and then two fields past him, and it looks like it's going to be Tap It Twice, two fields, and Hit Show. Okay, Tap It Twice. First, two fields. Second, Hit Show. Third, and Verifying fourth. Oh, let's take a look at their time. They have Tap It Twice. 202.4, two fields 202.8. So let's see. So we have all the 202s. We have Angel Empire, Practical Move, Tap It Twice, and two fields. So that's four horses. And let's get into the 203.2 is Hit Show. And then Verify 203.8. And Lord Miles also 203.8. So let's see how many we have for 203. So we already have 4, and with 202 times, and Lord Miles 5, Verifying 6, Hit Show 7, Go Rocket Ride 8, Major Do 9, and that's it for the 203 time. And then there's 1204 time in this race, and 246 by Arctic Arrogance. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have one more slot to fill. Arctic Arrogance is 2046. We take a look at all the 204s in Heat Race 1. Instant Coffee with 2044. That's better than Arctic Arrogance, so Arctic's out. Rocket Cam has 2046. He's out. Miss Arm has a 2046. He's out. But Mage has a 20442. So we have Instant Coffee and Mage both at 2044. I'll show you how we'll break that tie. That's it here from the Kentucky Derby heat races. And now you'll see that the Kentucky Oaks race and the Kentucky Derby race are up next. But before that, we have to figure out some time for the 10th slot in the Kentucky Derby. So what we end up doing is there's game logs, and then you can see there's a timing text file, and there's also one for the first race. And so this was the Heat Race 1, this is Heat Race 2. We know the two tied horses are actually at Heat Race 2. We'll open that up when we go to the bottom, and it'll show you what I call the tiebreaker numbers. So we go to instant coffee, and there's his tiebreaker number of 0960454, and we'll compare that to Mage. And there you see, and Mage is 0952055. So because instant coffee is 096 compared to 095 for Mage, instant coffee advances to the finals. Okay, so we can exit out of this for a second, and we're going to take a look at the results for those two races. So we have heat race 1. There's your results. There's your timing. As I mentioned, the instant coffee and Mage were tied for the 10th position in the Kentucky Derby. As you see, they were 2044. So, and you see here, even here, instant coffee is considered 5th place compared to Mage 6th, and that is how the game figures that out. Instant coffee again has, remember, the 096 portion of the tiebreaker. Well, Mage was just 095. So you see here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go over to the other one, and you just happen to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And remember, Arctic Arrogance was 204.6 instead of 4, so he was eliminated. So coincidentally, here we have the top 5 finishers in both races advancing. Alright, so we go back to the schedule, and we're going to add the field for the Kentucky Derby. Essentially, I'm just going to add them, and the way I just happen to have them listed, and then we'll do the draw post position once we get them tethered. So we have Angel Empire, one of the qualifiers. Instant Coffee, another qualifier. Major Dude. Third qualifier. Fourth qualifier from Heat Race 1 was Practical Move. And then the final qualifier was, I've never heard anybody pronounce his name, so I think it's Go Rocket Ride, maybe? I am not too good at French. So heading over to Heat Race 2, and in Heat Race 2, Skinner was the number 1 horse in Heat Race 2 as far as our standings were concerned, victory points, but did not make the cut. And again, in Heat Race 1, Forte did not make the cut either. So we have Tapping thrice. Made it. 2 fills. Made it. Lord Miles. Made it. Verifying. Made it. And Hit Show. Was the 5th horse in the second heat race. So there's your 10 horses that qualified for our Kentucky Derby. Again, they'll all be carrying 126. We just have to go through here and determine if there's any duplicate jockeys, because if you know that you hover over them, it tells you who their main jockeys are. So we have Louis C. Diaz here. Looks like everybody else is, all the other jockeys are different other than Louis, so we'll have to change it. Louis, let's see. Instant coffee, that's all he has. Let's go here with the tip it twice, and again. So if we take a look at their times, we'll use their times for the tiebreaker. Tip it twice ran the heat race in 2 minutes 2.4 seconds, while instant coffee was 2 minutes and 4.4 seconds. So tip it twice will keep Louis in it, yeah, and we'll see if we can find another 4 or 3 to put on instant coffee. There's Francisco Arietta, 3. Manuel Franco's already been assigned a horse. Who else is here? There we go, Tristan Torres. He's a 4. We'll put him on instant coffee. So, okay, all the jockeys are different. We should be able to save the field. If there's another problem, it'll tell us. Ready to save. Looks like the field got saved. X out. Now we'll go back here. And let's see. Let's not lock it until we do the randomized posting. So let's randomize the Kentucky Oaks. There's your horses for the Kentucky Oaks, your top 10. Randomize them, and who's your filly gets post position 1. Wonder Will, that was the top horse. And as far as points is concerned, will be in post 5. So that's done. Now we can lock it, and we'll take a look at it. There you go. Here's the filly Chop Chop, Capella, and Tell Me Knowles, Wonder Wheel, Sacred Wish, Julia Shining, Buzz, Infinite, Diamond, and Pretty Mischievous. And here we have some more Brad Cops, Horses and a Todd Pelcher, Bob Buffett. And it's kind of interesting to see the trainers having more than one horse that they give the race. They will do the same thing for the Kentucky Derby. They'll randomize the post position. And this was the original order that I entered, put them into the field. And the major dude is now going to be in the first post position. Angel Empire is 7. Verified, and you can see where all the others will be starting. Okay, we'll lock it, and now we'll view it. There you see Major Do verifying, and the rest of the bunch, and you see Todd got 2 horses in the final. So does Brad Cox. No, Brad Cox has 3. Toffee managed 1 out of the few horses that he has. Brad Cox has 3 now. That's really 4. Brad Cox actually has 4 horses in the race. Well, do you think one of them will win the race? Maybe he'll have first, second, and third. Could even have first, second, third, and fourth. That would be really interesting. Okay, let's go return. Everything is locked, so I guess we're set to run. Just to go to Kentucky Oaks. let's go ahead and get the oats started. Again, we can view the past performances of the horses. And you can see there were not very many races for the fillies to run in, and that was not the spotlight of the set. The set spotlight, of course, was on the 3-year-old colts. You can see all the horses got in one race. A couple horses didn't manage 2 races. In fact, the horses that ran in the 2 races, they both ran the same 2 races. Okay. So, let's go ahead, and I think we're ready. Well, let's go with one line. Man, this looks like this is going to be a 2-horse race. Fozza and Pretty Mischievous. All the rest of the horses are almost all long shots. So, anyway, let's go back over the Churchill Down, and we'll go through the starter. Who's their filly? Chop Chop, Capalava, and Tell Me Knowles, Wonder Wheel, Sacred Wish, Julie Shining, Fazna, Infinite Diamond, and Pretty Mischievous. Okay, let's back up to spectator mode. And official the Sewage Tower team, everything is all set. Horses are in the starting gate and they're off. And horse 9, Infinite Diamond, got out of the gate first, although the second maneuver has not helped them much at all. And we go in the back stretch, we have Wonder Wheel and Pretty Mischievous. And it's Wonder Wheel passing Mischievous, and now they're neck and neck going into the home stretch. It's Pretty Mischievous and Wonder Wheel. Whoa, what happened? The Fazda just passed everybody on the home stretch and cruises to a victory. So Fazda first, Pretty Mischievous second, Capella third, and Wonder Wheel fourth. Well, that's it for the Kentucky Oaks. Let's go over to the Kentucky Derby. We've seen the fields. Let's go ahead and go back to the Kentucky Derby for the finals. Again, we'll view the past performances. Like I said, this is a really nice little display for the horses. You see there's a few horses that have now 5. Actually, Fort Miles has been in 6 races this year. And remember, there's a lot of heat races, so that does tend to hit horses in more races than they would normally do in real life because of the way our games can only handle 10 horses at a time. Okay, and look at Angel Empire. Angel Empire is 5 for 5. Even in the heat races, he's won besides the main event. Anybody else even close? Now there's a couple 3s. Fort Miles has won 3 races, and Pat Twice won 3. Oh, I'm not sure what that. Okay, this allows you to bring up their individual cards if you wanted to. Okay, so let's take a look at the odds. We have, looks like a good 3-horse race, maybe 4. You have Tap It Twice, Thrice, Angel Empire, and Practical Move all bunched together in post position. They're at 6, 7, and 8, and even two field in post position 9 and has odds pretty close to the trio. And you also have Lord Miles too. There's verifying 21.1 to $1. So anyway, this looks like this could be a very good race. Again, we've already randomized post positions, no need to do that. Maybe we'll take a look at one here. Anyway, you could, if you wanted to in the game, you could go to one of these locations and they could maybe help influence a particular horse or not influence a particular horse. With rumors and stuff. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get to the track. Go through the horses real quick. Major Dude. Verifying. Yellow Rocket Ride. Lord Miles. Instant Coffee. Tap it thrice. Angel of Empire. Practical Move. Two fills. And Hit Show. Okay, let's go to the Silver Tower. Looks like the officials there have deemed all the horses in the starting gate. They're ready to roll. And they're off with Major Dude out of the gate first, but we have Tip It Twice going into the first turn with the lead, but Lord Miles passes them. And now, as you see, we have a very, very close race. And in fact, our other jockey is saying that Hit Show has a few points left that maybe we can do a better job. So we'll give it a try. Hit Show has 13 points. Hit Show is right here. You see it, he ended up just going straight and stopped here. Since you're in the back straight, you can go outside for one sideways move. Maybe we can do something like that. So let's see if he can gain any ground by going outside. We'll switch up. And now he can go outside 2 more times. He still has 3 points. He would have ended up there. Now we can get him one past that and give him an opportunity in the next turn to be able to move before he would have if he was back here. So that looks like that was good for It Show. So let's go back in the spectator mode and finish out the race. Going into the back clubhouse. Turn low, we still have another one. Practical Move has 3 left. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5 horses in front. You may end up there even if I tried to move them. We'll do the undo at 12. Let's see where he ends up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He has 3 left. I can go 2 with 1. Have him 2 left. And I can use up 1 and he's got 1 left. And he's just not going to be able to get outside to pass them all to get ahead of him. And he can't do a flip because he has no jockey points left. I think he's just going to be stuck there. The only other thing you could do is you could help him out by doing this. Now he's behind 2 horses, and remember you have the drafting rule option turned on in the parameter, you'll be able to accumulate 2 extra points, one for each horse that's in front of him, that he can use next turn. So that almost negates the 3 that he's going to lose. So we'll go ahead and put him there. I think that's where the auto jockey put him, so I can't do any better than him. So if I use up a movement to get him there, that's not far enough. I have to put another one. Give me down to 1, and then he just get here, and that's no better than really here, because the inside horses will move before him anyway. So let's end the turn and continue on. And in the back turn, we have Angel Empire with the lead, but Hit Show just passive going into the home stretch. And it looks like it'll be Hit Show as our Kentucky Derby winner in our little truck race, Kentucky Derby. I think it's the Belmont Stakes replay. Okay, Hit Show, Angel Empire second, Instant Coffee third, and Tippett twice fourth. So I think that's going to wrap it up here from Churchill Downs. And as you can see, the next up will be the Black Eyed Susan heat races and the Priestess heat races. I imagine we're not going to have more than 10 fillies entered to get into the Black Eyed Susan. So we'll, as we did with the Kentucky Oaks heat races, we'll probably skip them. And Priestess, I'm not really sure how many horses we'll have in the race. I guess I should have decided that before I ran the Kentucky Derby. So what I'll do is I'm going to check and see what we did last year, and we'll use the number of horses that we ran last year. So I think that's going to be it here from TRG Central. This is Gary signing off for the evening. I hope you all had a good time at the races.